Hey guys, welcome to my first library haul in a while, I think it's been. I'm doing this one in collab with Krista because she shares a lot of great sounding books when she goes to the library all the time. I've checked out a number of the ones that she's taken out before and then found some really good gems. I think one of my favorites this year has been what is it called? It has like this really long title. It's a middle grade book. The Extremely Inconvenient Adventures of Bronte Meadowstone, I believe it is. That was one of my favorites, and I just randomly got that one out because she mentioned in a library haul that she had gotten it. So I asked her if she would do a collab, and she just like raised the bar. She's like, how about you take a picture of your stack of books? I'll take a picture of my stack of books, and then we each pick one book for the other one to read. So she has raised the bar. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you my books. I don't know which one she has picked for me yet. So I'm going to show you my books, and then I am going to check to see which one she has picked. Now, a couple of these books are on my TBR for the month, and a couple of them I just got out randomly. A couple of them I've had for a while. So let's just get started. I actually got this Sherlock Holmes graphic novel. This one is The Trial of Sherlock Holmes. So I don't actually know, is that a... I have read all the Sherlock Holmes, but I don't necessarily know all of the titles. Is The Trial of Sherlock Holmes... Oh, it's written by someone else. So this is... I thought this would be like actually a Sherlock story told in graphic novel form. So I'm kind of glad actually that it's not, since I've read those all at least once. Okay, the toddler just walked in wanting something. Where was I? Yeah, because I've read all the Sherlock before, I'm kind of glad that this is something new. So, also I don't read a ton of graphic novels. I just wanted to push myself a little bit. Then, let's see, I did end up getting Cinder from the library, so I'm going to try doing the read-along, I think it is, hosted by a bunch of ladies on booktube. I heard about it either from Krista, or I know Amanda is also doing it, and a bunch of people. I read Cinder probably 5 or 6 years ago. I didn't think I was going to like it, and I totally did. It's like a sci-fi retelling of Cinderella, where Cinderella is Cinder, and she is a cyborg with a mechanical foot and lives in this very different world. The rest of the series I still enjoyed, but Cinder was by far my favorite, so I'm not sure if I'm going to do all the series in the read-along or if I'm just going to do Cinder, but I'm excited to reread this one. And then I mentioned this in my TBR video, I'm going to do Caught Red-Handed this month, read this one. It's really short. This is a slightly cheesy Christian suspense series, but like I've said before, I have enjoyed our main character because she's, I don't know, she makes me laugh. She's not like a super tough girl. She's kind of freaked out, like the very first book, right in the first chapter, I think she has this dead body in her trunk and she's like freaking out. Instead of like, I don't know, sometimes I feel like characters just take it all in stride, whereas like this is not normal. So I'm going to read this book. It's the last one in the series. Then someone told me about this book, Relative Silence by Carrie Stewart Parks. She's one of my favorite authors, and I didn't even realize she had this book. This one was written when? I thought I owned like pretty much all her books. 2020. Okay, so this is last year. I've never seen this one on Book Outlet. I've seen her other ones on there, and I'm excited to read this one. It's apparently even better than some of her others, and I haven't even read the back, but I feel like she's become one of my favorite authors in the last while, so I don't want to even know what it's about, but I'm really excited about it. And then this also still looks thicker than it really is because I'm going to be reading Edge Dancer, which is about 150 pages, I think. It is book 2.5 in the Stormlight Archive. That is on my TBR for the month. Even though we are like into the month and I haven't read any. I think I've finished one book so far. Oh, I'm going to pause here and tell you that I love my library. I use it a ton. Just before filming this video, I was filming a library haul for my homeschool channel, and I looked up, I have saved over $8,000 this year just because my library sends out this awesome receipt every time I check out books that tells me the value of each of the books. So if I were to have purchased all the books that I have checked out, I would have paid over $8,000. But instead, I get to get them from the library, have zero fines, and yes, I'm excited. Let's keep going. Lockwood and Co. So actually this is the Screaming Staircase, book 1, I think, in this series. A couple people here on booktube have told me about the series, that they love it and I want to read it. And then I saw that Holly had a copy of this on her Instagram page for sale. So I told her I want it, and I haven't done anything in regards to picking it up. But I really want to read this. I don't know what it is. Apparently it's Disney Books. I'm assuming just some kind of like fantasy, maybe like YA fantasy. Once again, haven't read the back. And do I want to? A sinister problem has occurred in London. All nature of ghosts are appearing through the city, and they aren't exactly friendly. Okay. Interesting from that sentence. I wouldn't really say that it would be something I would enjoy, but I trust the people who have said that they enjoy it enough to try it. Then someone recommended this book to me, this author. And I think maybe it was on my Christian romance video, my dislike for Christian romance or something. And I have to say that when I looked it up, I think these books are going to be cheesy, but I am not afraid to try it and be wrong. This is Though I Stumble. So this is by Kim Cash Tate. 4 women, 1 weekend, and their lives will never be the same. So you follow 4 women, and I don't remember. 4 women in different seasons of life converge at a women's conference with a theme that charges them to run in hot pursuit for Christ. But how do they run when challenges seem insurmountable? And can they help one another navigate the difficult terrain? So maybe it wasn't that video. Someone recommended it, and maybe it was my favorite Christian fiction. I don't know. But my library had it, so I figured I would try it out. Oh, and then I finally got book 1 in the Storm Siren series. I think I bought book 2 or 3 from Book Outlet maybe quite a while ago. And then I was like, I need to get book 1 before I can continue on. So this is I raise my chin as the buyers stare. Yes, look. You don't want me, because eventually, accidentally, I will destroy you. So I don't know, this is supposed to be a Christian YA fantasy series of some sort. I'm curious. And I still have this one. I really wanted to read this one last month, but I didn't. Heartless. I know there's a couple of you on here that have wanted me to read this one as well. This is also Christian fantasy, which is funny. I've been getting a lot of comments lately about Christian fantasy and how Christian fantasy is evil and whatever. And I actually really enjoy Christian fantasy. I find that I think it's a great way for authors to kind of like gives us human terms to describe some like of the supernatural things. Anyway, I don't know anything about this book, but it has sounded really interesting. The Dragon King seeks his princess, who dares to stop him. Yeah, so if I don't read it this time around, I will read it eventually. Then I saw this one. Is this? Okay, it's called Winter Spell by Claire Legrand. It's a dark, timeless fairy tale about love and war, longing and loneliness, and a girl who must learn to live without fear. I thought, so this was in the YA section. I thought this was in the YA Christian section, but New York City, 1899, Clara, the mayor's ever-proper daughter, leads a double life. Since her mother's murder, she is secretly trained in self-defense with the mysterious Drosselmeyer. Then on Christmas Eve, disaster strikes. But it's Simon & Schuster, so it's not a Christian publisher. So, I don't know. Now I'm just curious, I guess. Then I got How to Be a Girl in the World. This is by Kayla Carter. I mentioned in my buddy read video of the cult one we just read, My Life with the Liars. There we go, it came to me. This one is also really well rated by her. This one has a lot of triggers. Definitely, based off what I know, I wouldn't give this to middle grade students, at least not without a lot of conversations happening. I think it has to do with abuse, and I don't remember what else. But I'm going to read this. She does a really good job with like really hard topics. I find it's written like she writes middle grade characters, but I feel like her books are more written for adults. So I would really like to get to this one. Then, okay, this is my guess. My guess is Krista has picked this one for me because I still have this one from the library. Other Words for Home. This is middle grade free verse novel about, I'm assuming like a move across, what is the word I'm looking for? Like a refugee kind of situation. Words, they're hard. So I'm guessing Krista's gonna pick this one for me because I know she liked that one. And then I have Clap When You Land. I shared that I might read this one for July, and I still have it from the library, so I should probably like, you know, renew these books or read them and get them back. Anyway, this one is, I got like the massive large print, and it's free verse, so it feels huge, but it would actually be a really fast read. So I think, no, that is not all I have. I actually read this book, but I requested it from the library because I wanted to see it in physical form. I read it off of NetGalley. This is Satisfied by Alyssa Bethke, and I didn't realize it was gonna be such a big book. Like, I feel like Other Words for Home is a fairly average size book. So this is kind of like coffee table size, which makes sense because there's a lot of pictures. So when I was reading it on NetGalley, it was like, oh, looks like it would be a pretty book. But I wanted to get it out to see. And yes, it is. I have a friend I think I'm going to be buying this for their birthday. Oh, that was almost the same picture. Yeah, so this book was a 5-star book for me, and now seeing like the physical copy as well, definitely 5 stars all around. Okay, now I think that's all I have checked out from the library right now. Let's see what Krista picked for me. She picked 2. She said she loved Other Words for Home, but she would recommend listening to it. Kind of called that. And she said she's curious about Clap When You Land. Where did my copy go? So it's between these 2. And because these are so short, I feel like I could probably knock these both out in a weekend. So for Krista, I will read both of them. Actually, I'll see if I can get this on audio. See if my library has it. But I will definitely read this one. See if I can get this on audio. There we go. So go to Krista's video. I gave her which book I would pick for her to read, mostly because I hadn't heard of most of her other ones. She sent me a picture. So I'm curious to see what she all prioritizes in this next month or so, because I kind of want to hear some of her thoughts on those books. So thanks for watching, guys.